Hi, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about tips and tricks on how to start that intimidating or challenging book. You know the one. It's been on your bookcase for years and you keep saying, I'm going to get to that. Just not yet.
We keep procrastinating.
Don't worry, I did the exact same thing. I've been saying for 4 years that I'm going to read Don Quixote. But due to its size, it's almost 1,000 pages. And due to the fact that it was written in the 1500s, I was just really intimidated. I was afraid that because language changes that I would have difficulty understanding. But I followed some tips and tricks and I'm going to share what worked for me. Tip 1 is to schedule your reading time. I've heard lots of people say that they wish they had time for reading, but they just don't. If you want to make it a priority, you have to schedule out time. For me, I like to pick to read 25 pages of Don Quixote in the morning. Morning is my best time with my illnesses typically, and just getting them started right away when I'm feeling usually at my best is a great way. And, maybe I'm on my phone a little bit less, but, prioritize it, make it happen. My next tip is I said I was reading 25 pages a day. What I did is I made it so that I put a flag every 25-ish pages. I did try and end, on chapter breaks if I could. But I portioned out before I even started reading 25 pages. That was the math of that would let me finish it by the time it was due back to the library. And a lot of older books are great for reading in chunks like that. Books like Charles Dickens and even Don Quixote are very episodic, and it's fun to read them in a serial type format. There's even an app. It doesn't work for me because I have difficulty reading on phones and tablets. But there's an app I think called Serial Reader, and it's free. And it has a bunch of older classics, anything that's, trademark free. And it breaks them into chunks and even has like prizes you can win if you like read more in a day. And I think it's a great way to do it. But if you can't read on your phone like me, or if the book is not on there, you can always do it yourself the way I did with lots of post-its. Tip 3 is to do some research. If you know that the book is going to have lots of words you're unfamiliar with, or refer to a history or an event that you don't know very much about, doing a little bit of research will help you understand the book better and it'll help you enjoy it more if you understand more what's going on. I will say, don't let this get out of control. Don't go down a Wikipedia hole until like 2 a.m. and be like, I have to know all the things pertaining to this book. Like that's too intense. That's even more intimidating. Don't do something like that. Just get enough research so that you can understand the concepts and words being used in the book. I briefly showed you my copy of Don Quixote, but as I read, I'm also annotating a lot of what I'm reading, which helps me remember what I'm reading. I will sometimes put a post-it if I want to remember an exact quote that somebody said that was maybe profound or really an example of good writing. I will also put down notes if I see connections between other works of literature. Whilst reading Don Quixote, I have compared it to The Princess Bride and Galaxy Quest, the movie. And yeah, you might be like, I have no idea how those things are related. But yeah, I put down connections that I make, and it helps me remember better, and it just helps me talk about the book better as well. Tip number 5, and it's the only one that I'm not currently doing, is buddy read your book. Whatever your challenging or intimidating book is, get somebody to read it with you. You have a person who you can puzzle out things that might confuse you. You get to talk about theories or predictions. You can talk about how wonderfully or terribly characters are drawn. Uh, you just have some accountability to keep going and to read this book. And I did actually try to get 2 different people to buddy read this book with me, but it is very long and they weren't able to get it in their schedules at the same time. So I'm kind of unofficially reading it with my husband because I'll be like, "You won't believe what's happened. This is what I just read." And so he's sort of an unwilling buddy. And but I make the stories amusing and he enjoys them, so that works. The last thing I was going to mention, it's not so much a tip, but if you're in the wrong mood, take breaks. Don't cram it down. This is obviously only advice if you don't have to read it, or you don't have to read it in a certain time frame. Take your time and give up if you really don't like it. There are so many books out there, and quitting a book that you're not enjoying will just help you have time to read books that you are enjoying. It seems counterintuitive that I'm telling you to give up if it's challenging, but most of the time, the point of reading is fun, escapism, or learning something. And if it's just not doing it for you, pick something else. There are so many books out there, and by quitting the bad ones, you have time to get to the good ones. Those are my tips for dealing with intimidating or challenging books. Tell me, what is your most intimidating book you have on your TBR, and why are you intimidated by it? Let's have a chat down in the comments below. Thank you. Bye.